We made 2,600 apple dumplings last year. 2,600. They were all delicious. So every year, the East Ohio Conference team creates a theme for our United Methodist Women's Sunday. This year, we created it to be the mission in you. We did a little play on the words, mission in you, and used a little you for our mission you that we go to in, where do we go? College in Mount Union. Yes, that's where we go. So, the mission in you. What is in your backyard that you could be a missionary for? I know that Norwalk probably has several places that you could use your gifts in. And one of those things might be the Blue Rose Missions in Mansfield or Cleveland area, where we went as a Firelands District team a few years ago, and also the Redbird Missions in Kentucky. I told them this morning how we went a few years ago with Kelly's Island Church and Lakeside Church, and at the last minute, a couple from our team couldn't go, and so we filled in with Pastor Kent Joy from our pastoring in the area and his wife, and did not know that he was a certified septic tank person, and we needed that exact thing when we got to the house that we were working on. The lady had a septic tank that was completely full, and nobody knew in Kentucky what to do with that. And they weren't going to do anything about it. So if you know anything about septic tanks, you have to do something about it or you can't use your bathroom. So they went at 6 o'clock in the morning and took care of that before they started their day on the project that they were supposed to do, and took care of the woman's septic tank. Ha! God provided, I think. God provides a lot of things in the CASA office that I work at. I seem to call on him daily because I don't know what to do with things that I'm working with. Basically, it's heart-wrenching because of all the things that are happening to our children in our county, and I'm sure in Huron County also. So, CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocate, started in Ottawa County 14 years ago, and it's actually a program that's been in service around Ohio for the past 25, 26 years, but it took us a while to get it together in Ottawa County. So we are a court-appointed advocate for the children in Ottawa County that we are assigned to by the judge and the magistrate. We get paperwork that says we are allowed to go out and ask all kinds of questions. We can go to the school, interview the children while they are in the school so that they can talk to us freely and not have anyone listening to them at home. We can go to their doctors, the parents' counseling services. We can talk to all the members of the family, the neighbors. Anything that we can look at as a document and write it all down in a report for the judge so she can make a decision as to what placement this child should be placed in. Now, most attorneys don't have the time to do all that work, or caseworkers, because the caseworkers have probably 30 children that they're working with. So we are assigned those cases to go out and do that. To become a CASA, there's 30 hours of volunteer training and 10 hours in the courtroom for specialized dockets to learn what they do in the courtroom. Volunteer training, that's what I said. All that stuff we don't get paid for. And of course, we get paid for it in our hearts, because every time a case closes, I feel so good, if it turns out good, that that child's been saved from anything that has been harming him or her. And when I talk to the child to tell them what I am there for and what we're going to do, we're going to advocate for you. If you have any wishes that you want me to tell the judge, if you want to stay here in your home, if you don't want to stay here in your home, please let me know and we'll let the judge know. And they always ask me, are you getting paid for this? That's why you want to do this for me? No, I am not getting any kind of financial payment whatsoever. I have a couple of cases that have just closed. One of them was a family with a father and 2 sons. Most times, the children are given to the moms. In this case, the dad received custody of the children. And they are just as happy as can be. And I've had him in my eyes, watching what he's been doing for the past 2 years. I suggested he get a dining room table and chairs and sit at the table as a family and learn what his sons were doing for the day. I taught him how to cook some things. I went to their house and we made chicken noodle soup and cupcakes, which was the request of the elementary kids. And it turns out that when the caseworker spoke about his family to the magistrate, that one of the things that stood out in her mind, that this was the person that needed to have his children in his house, was that dining room table, and that he was sitting there having dinner with them. It's like, wow. I remember telling him that he needed to go get that dining room table. So, you never know how you're going to touch somebody's hearts and make a difference in the world. My other case is a teenage girl who's just about ready to graduate from high school. And when I started with her 5 years ago, she did not want to talk to me. She had hair down in her face. She didn't want to have any participation whatsoever. She talked to me for about 5 minutes. That's when I decided that cooking with the children is a good start to stand next to each other in the kitchen, because she can't go anywhere because we're cooking dinner and we're learning something. So she would then open up and tell me all kinds of stories about her past life. And now she's getting ready to attend Lord's College in Sylvania, I think it is. And she is so excited, but she's also scared to death. She's going to be becoming an adult where she doesn't have adults to depend upon, she doesn't think. But I will still be there, even though my case is going to close and I can't talk to her the same way that I have been. I will still be there with my phone number in her phone if she needs any help. Her foster mom is going to open up her house and let her stay there, which is a rare thing, because usually when you're turning 18 and you're in a foster care home, they set you up in an apartment somewhere and you're done being parented or fostered, and you have to go be an adult immediately. Which brings about the numbers that are in the data for 2013, where they are saying in the statistics that the foster youth, 14% of them had a child, 24% of them only worked part-time, 26% were experiencing homelessness, 36% were incarcerated, and 53% never finished high school. They didn't have the backing of an adult to push them along and make those things happen. So they've passed a bill, it's called Ohio House Bill 50, which creates a program to serve youth that are aging out of foster care and adopting after the age of 16 through their 21st birthday. Now, I've found out that the majority of those children are ones that need extra care. They possibly are in a disability type of setting or mentally disabled. And now that is pushed to the age of 21, but then what are you supposed to do? They gave them a few more years, but the same thing happens. Hopefully by the time they're 21, there's something out there that is a more permanent place for them and they can live their life with great hope. So, my other project is coming up. We are going to be making 100 school uniforms for the children in orphanages in Jamaica. So if there's anybody that has sewing talent out there and has a little need for a project, see me afterwards, because I have a project for you. School uniforms. So my job in the CASA office is to enter all the data of all the children in the computer. I never went to school to learn computers, so I don't really know how I'm doing this job properly. I'm really actually doing it, which surprises me. It shouldn't surprise me because that's one of the things I call upon God for. It's like, okay, here I am in this position. I'm supposed to enter the stuff in the computer, and I'm doing it. My other job is volunteer coordinator of the volunteers as a CASA. We have 25 volunteers in Ottawa County, and each of them has approximately 3 cases. So I have to make sure that they're in the courthouse at the proper time and they've done their reports, and if they have any questions about their cases, I'm there for them to work it out. I also run a program through the CASA office where we received a grant through the Ohio Supreme Court to run a pilot program to teach teens living skills. The pilot program is interesting because they didn't give us a book of directions. They said, take the funds and create the program to your area and create something that teaches your kids living skills for them as they age out of high school. The children that come to the house that we have set up, 75% of them are on probation, and they have to come there for community hours. And just coming there and sitting there isn't going to get them their community hours. We make them participate. When they come in, they make their dinner, which I have prepared the ingredients. I go to the grocery store and buy it and make the menu, and they have to come in and figure out how to make their dinner. And then we have presenters come and talk to us and teach us all kinds of life skills. As a lot of these life skills that we learned when we were in high school are no longer there. Check writing and anything you could think of. This week we have somebody coming to teach us how to take care of bicycles and make cakes, cake decorating. So I know that there's a mission out there calling your name. Whether you want to be called or not, God is knocking on your door and he wants you to answer. So just think about all the gifts that you have and how you can serve in a mission in your backyard. Thank you.